Is this treatment working? I mean, that's the big question, right? It's probably the most important question you can ask when you're trying to help someone learn something new or change a behavior. But how? How do you actually answer it? Well, you've kind of got two ways to go. On one hand, there's the guess, the feeling. You know, that sense of, I think it's getting better. But on the other hand, you've got the data, cold, hard facts. Look, one of those is a hope. The other is proof. And knowing the difference between the two, well, that changes everything.
Okay, so let's get right into it. What we're going to do here is talk about how to get from that guesswork over to the graphs. This is all about how to stop feeling your way through big decisions and start knowing, for sure, what to do next.
So first up, the power of measurement. We really have to talk about why using data isn't just, a nice thing to do. It's absolutely your most important tool. It's the foundation for every single good decision you're going to make from here on out. Think about it this way. It's a pretty simple idea. You can't know if you're winning a race if you don't know where the finish line is, right? I mean, how would you know when you're done, or if you're even heading in the right direction? It's the exact same principle here. You have to define what success looks like before you even take that first step. And in our world, we have a name for that finish line. It's called mastery criteria. And this is not some vague, fuzzy goal like get better at asking for help. Nope, it's a precise, measurable, totally objective target that you set from day one. And check this out. This is what a good one looks like. It's so clear. It tells you what to do, request help. It tells you how well to do it in 80% of opportunities, and it tells you for how long, for 2 straight weeks. There is absolutely zero room for interpretation here. You either hit this target or you don't. It's that simple. And this is where the magic really happens. This is the power of comparing where you are now to where you started. We call that starting point the baseline. And when you see it on a graph like this, you don't have to guess if the treatment worked. The graph makes it so obvious. Going from 10 tantrums a day down to 2, that's a massive, undeniable improvement. All right, so you're collecting data, you've got a clear finish line. Now what? Well, the data isn't just there to look pretty in a chart. It's there to help you make decisions. And it really just boils down to 3 fundamental choices you can make. And here they are. These are your 3 choices. Every time you look at your data, you're making one of these decisions. Are you going to continue what you're doing? Are you going to modify it and change things up? Or are you going to terminate it because, hey, mission accomplished? The first choice is the easiest one. It's a no-brainer. If your data shows that things are improving, skills are going up, and you're on a clear path to that mastery criteria, just keep going. Don't change a thing. The rule is simple. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it's working, let it work. Now, the second decision, this is the one we're all shooting for. This is when the data confirms you've hit that finish line you set out at the beginning, and you've made sure the new skill is actually sticking around. That's when it's time to celebrate. The goal is learned, you can move on. Okay, but that brings us to the most common and honestly, the most critical situation you're going to face. What do you do when the graph is just flat? Or even worse, what if it's going in the wrong direction? This is exactly where people tend to make their biggest mistake. So let's focus on that for a second, because there is a golden rule for what to do when things aren't working. And trust me, getting this right is going to save you a world of trouble. So when you see that lack of progress, your first instinct is probably to ask this very question. This plan isn't working. We need a new plan. It just feels like the most logical next step, right? But it's not. So the most crucial thing to do is to just stop. Before you throw out a potentially fantastic treatment plan, you have to investigate something else first. It's usually not about the what, it's about the how. We call this procedural integrity. And it's really just a fancy way of asking, is the plan actually being done the way it was designed? Is everyone involved following the steps correctly? Is it happening consistently? Because so often the plan itself is perfectly fine. It's the implementation that's broken, and fixing that is always your first move. So let's put all these pieces together. We can build a really simple step-by-step flowchart that you can use every single time you sit down to look at your data. Here it is, your whole decision-making process. Step 1, collect the data. Step 2, graph it and compare it to your baseline and your goal. That leads to the big question in step 3. Is progress acceptable? If it's a yes, awesome, keep doing what you're doing. But if it's a no, remember that golden rule. You don't change the plan yet. First, in step 4, you check procedural integrity. If you find a problem, you fix the implementation.
Now, if the integrity is great, but you're still not seeing progress, then you move to step 5 and you modify the treatment. And only if that still doesn't work do you finally get to step 6, reassess and maybe replace the plan entirely.
See? This whole process, it takes the emotion and all that guesswork out of the equation and just replaces it with clarity. So next time you have to decide, next time you have to answer that big question, is this working? Which are you going to rely on? The guess or the graph?